Yeah. We learn Ran. You don't learn Rashi in Nedarim. Kol kinuye nedora kinedorim. Now, all kinuye means use a word which is like a jargon. It's like a corrupted word. And, of course, normally when you make a net, you say korban. Korban. That's Hebrew. Konam, kones. These words. It's like, it's a corrupted word that's not being pronounced correctly. But that's called the kinui. Like kinui is like a nickname. Use another word which is not the real word. Nedarim kinedorim. But if you use these other words, it's the equivalent. It's considered a neder. Charomi kecharomi. So we'll see the Ran. Same thing. You use a kinui b'cherim. Rather than saying cherim, something should be cherim, which is also an expression of neder. Use the word cherek. Right? Shvuas ke-shvuas. Let's say you use a kinui for a shvuah. It's also a shvuah. Or nazirus ke-nazirus. A kinui of nazirus, also, you're a nazir. Let's say rather than saying here, he would say nozik or noziach. It's not, in Hebrew that's the word, it's like a corrupted word. But since in the vernacular it means that, you're a full nazir on a Torah level. Right? The Ran's going to explain it. What is all medoraisa? Let's see the Ran. Kol kinui nedorim, nedehu be'echod b'shtei inyanim. Neder itself can manifest itself in one, two things. In nidrei hegdish, it could either be nidrei hegdish or magdish lebedek abayis. I say this table should be hegdish. Okay, that's bedek abayis. Or lemizbeach, that's kochim mizbeach. Ubinyin ze eni yochol lahagdish elo mashu shelo. 1 second. You can only consecrate something that's yours. Something that's not somebody who can't consecrate. The surei kolol kolodom. And it encompasses everyone. Something becomes hegdish, it's off limits to everyone. Oh, nidrei yisur is another kind of neder. It's nidrei yisur. What is nidrei yisur? She'oser alatzmu dvarmu mutorim. He prohibited on himself things that were permitted. He says, this object is not permitted to me. Or my object is not permitted to someone else. Here, you're able to prohibit even somebody else's assets on yourself. And the Isser is limited. Here, the Isser prohibition is limited to yourself. I say, this is off limits to me, but to others it's permitted. This Masechta speaks about Nedarim, which is not Kochim. Why? What it says, Charom is also a type of Neder. Hainu mishum shaloshen cherim kishim kolel chermi bedek abayis, because cherim could also mean bedek abayis. Kachu kolel nidri iser, but cherim could also mean nidri iser. Kidit nam lekamon, as it says later in the Mishnah, hareini olecho cherim, I am to you cherim, means off limits. Hamuder osur, the muder, I am to you cherim, that means the muder, the one who made the neder, is off limits to the other party. Harei at olai cherim, you're to me cherim. Hamadir also said, the one who said, you're off limits to me, the one who made the neder is not permitted better from the other person. Umishumai gavna tono charomim hocho dilu chermei berek abayis, because it would be chermei, which you're consecrating something. Right, we said el mesechta seder kochim. It has no relevance to this mesechta. This mesechta is cherem, which is iser. V'nidrei iser heim be'echad b'shlosh drochim. Okay, this is very important. A neder of Yisr could manifest itself in one of three situations. Ika neder, there's the actual neder. Kinuyov, we use a word which alludes to it. V'yodos. Yodos means you say something abbreviated. Now, to be a neder, let's say a person thinks neder. It's nothing. You have to articulate the words. Let's say you say a partial word. And from that statement, you understand what he means. Wait, but that's called yodayim. So he says, what? Ika neder, what is ika? What is the essence of neder? Hu sheyoma davaze oso olai. This object should be forbidden for me. Now, how do you say that? Bein shetfiso b'davar acher. Either you say, this should be like a korban. Right? So that's called hatfosa. It should be, that means you're equating it to the korban. Right? Shetfiso b'davar acher, bein shetfiso b'davar. Zeu neder omer b'teiro. But when you say it should be like something else, meaning, let's say you say, this table should be like a korban. So the table becomes off limits. Of course, how did a korban become a korban? Somebody consecrated. It's man-made. What if I said this table should be like nevela or like chazer? Now, why is nevela chazer not permitted? The Torah prohibits it. It has to be something which is man-created, not where the Torah created the Yisr. My taimo, Doma Krokos, the Gemara says, brings a pasuk, Ki yido neder Lashem achi yido b'dover anoder. The neder has to be associated with something which is nodur. Klomar, Shapi sheneder chal shlobat foso, although neder could come about without equating it to something else, afilu hochi, nevertheless, in hitfiso, if the way you bring it about is by, say it should be like something else, Bino shef visena b'dover anodur, you have to identify it with something, with something that was man-made, which is nodur, lo b'dover also, k'mosh k'savti shom, siyavti d'shmaz. He explains this. If you say it should be like a korban, which is davar nodur, or let's say it should be like that other piece of bread, which is osa b'neder, then this item becomes osa b'neder. But if you say it should be like nevela, like chazer, like treifa, no. Hilkoch, hecho shehit v'sum harei kikos like ki korban, chayil nidrek, right? It's chayil. It takes effect. V'ikar nedur, that is the essence of neder. Neder, the essence of neder is through atfoso. 1 second. V'kinuyov. What is the kinui? Hu b'mokom sheb'mokom korban yoma koneim koneach kones. Rather than using the word korban, he uses another type of word which sounds similar to korban. V'chol shama kain harei osur kilo oma korban olai kikur zeh. As if he said this kikur should be like a korban. Kikur like korban, that's hatfosa. Because he's saying, why is it osur? It should be like a korban. That's what the Mishnah means. All kinuyim, meaning jargons, which allude to a neder, is the same as saying korban. Ubahani kinuyin, pligi, Rabbi Yochanan v'Shlokish. Now there's an argument. What is the basis for all this? These corrupted words? Was it actually created by Chazal? Well, no. Society used the word which is a corrupted word. It's a machlok Rabbi Yochanan v'Shlokish. B'Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan Loshen Nochrem Heim. No, that's the way people. It's the way people speak. They, instead of saying korban, they say kones, koneach. It's a language. It's words which were created by the Chachamim. Lios Nojimbo. Rabbi Yochanan Loshen Nochrem Heim. According to Rabbi Yochanan, says it's the vernacular, the way people speak, the language. Vadai hanoder behem kenoder bikr korban. Neder can be said in any language. So it's like part of the language. In English, the person says, he's meshuga, right? So meshuga is an English word. It's become part of the language. Koneach, koneim, it's like saying korban. Even according to Rish Lakish, that it's a word that's made up specifically by the Chachamim, we'll see in a moment. Hareim gamkein kened gome b'doraisa. It's also neder. Why? Why is the language a language? Because people, there's a consensus among society, this word means that. So when Chazal said this word means that, their language is no different than any other language, right? It's their consensus, this word means that. Therefore, even according to Rish Lakish, that it's made by Chazal, it's a doraisa. He says, and we're able to bring proof to this from the beginning of Nasso. Why? The Barchino on Amas Nisan. The Gemara in Nasso has a question from the Mishnah. Posa bikinuyin. The Gemara asks by us, and the same Gemara asks in Nazir. It starts with kinuyin. Then the first thing it addresses is yodayim. Before yodos mishane tonaki posa posach biika korban. The reason why it starts with kinuyim because that's the that's the neder itself. That's ika korban. But before it's yodos, the askel midrasha. Then it discusses yodos because that we extrapolate from the drasha. Alma kuli alma kinuyim doraisa lechuva korban. Evidently, dealer a shlok shlom chayva korban. Because if you say according to Shlok that there's no liability of korban, it's not a doraisa. Have a little memer. Hossam, the Gemara should have said in Nazir, Hani chulman biyomar kinu loshin nochrimim. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's very good that what is kinuyim, it's the way it was corrupted by society. El badim loshavel chachomi Michael meimar kidmu besugi in the hocho. It should say whatever according to Shlok is only rabbinical. So if that's the case, why does the Mishnah start with kinuyin? Ella, so what do we see clearly from the Elavadi Mashba? Kuli Alma Kinuyin Doraisa. From there you see clearly, everybody agrees, whether it's Rabbi Yochanan Shlokish, as long as it's accepted as a language, as part of a language, that's language. And a neder could be said in any language. Vikala Meidak. Now he says, you're able to deduce from Rabbi Yochanan, the Meloshin Ochre, Maishna, the Porish Hanach Lishne, the Konim, Koneach, Vekoinim, Tvei, Bishad Lishne, Lema Norim Cholosh Nitro Neder. What does the Mishnah have to give examples? Konim. The Mishnah should say, any language you use, any word you use, if it means korban, it's good enough. What do we have to give examples? Konim, koneach, konam. Right? Any language. We're saying that word is part of the regular vernacular of society. To say any language, whatever the word may be, it is. Vanocha Sharishi Bozes, he says, the correct answer I saw, he says, Mashapir Shachochem God Rabbi Yehuda Breb Chazdoi. Zal the Rebusa should tell me a chidush. What's the chidush with this? Lomi boy b'lishonos nochrim shev lishonos gemurim. If it would be part of that language, let's say English or whatever language it may be, so that's part of that language. Shandoder b'hem nidro neder shafil b'shonos sheni gemurim. So what's the chidush? The chidush is, what about if it's a Hebrew word which the goyim are not pronouncing correctly? Their language, let's say English, you'd say it should be like a sacrifice. So sacrifice is the English word for korban. But if you're using a Hebrew word and you're corrupting it, maybe it's not good. Shena gemurim gonelu the konim koneach sheri loshen hakodishu. It's really a Hebrew word which has been corrupted. Elish nishtabesh, it's been corrupted. Socha daitachmi. If I would have maybe thought shanodebem lo neder, maybe it should not be. Kevon sheno loshen gomer b'fnei you're not saying it's not being pronounced correctly. Komash Malon, so that's the Chidush, the Kevon Shanochrim Midabrim Behem. Since factually that's the way the Goyim, they say that word, although it's not part of their language, but since factually that's the way they say that word, and they understand what it means, right? It's as a result of a corruption. Harei Neder Gomer, that's the Chidush. The Kosh game, Shar Lashonas Hanochrim. So a Hebrew word which is corrupted, so definitely it's part of their language. It definitely is a neder. He says, and there's proof to this understanding from the Yushalmi to this Rabbi Yehuda Bar Chezdoi. Hainu Tami the Kabbalah Kinuyin. Why is it called Kinuyin? It's like a nickname. Come on, a person changes a person's name. Elohim Kinuyin Nedarim. Now, the Yodos Nedarim, what is Yodos? Shemaschel b'miktzas iburo shel neder. He says a partial expression, which indicates the neder. El she'enu gomer. So you don't finish the statement. V'osa miktzas hadibor havikilu no de kol hashlemus hadibor. And when you say that partial, it's the equivalent of saying the full statement. And why is it called yad? Yodayim. Ka'odam ocheis b'chli bebeis yad. Chilo. You take a pot, you hold a handle. When you hold the handle, you take control of the whole pot. You're able to transport it just by holding the handle. Saying the partial expression, which is similar to the yad, it's like you said the whole expression. Common first yodos. The one he said, he will explain it. So it's also. It's not the way chayrim, but it's a word which sounds similar. Harei elu kilu oman nechosm elu alay chayrim. It's as if you said it in the Hebrew in the correct pronunciation. Okay, now next round is a very important round. The Mishnah says shvuos keshvuos. If you use a kinui for a shvuah, he says shvuka. Doesn't say shvuah. That's right. Kloma the kinui shvuah reu keshvuah v'chaylo umiho shamiron now. Now the question: when you take an oath to be a shvuah d'oraisa, do you need a Shem Hashem or not? Let's say you omit the Shem Hashem. Is it a shvuah or not? So he brings a proof from the Mishnah that even without the Shem Hashem, it's still called a shvuah. Okay, and you have the full liability of a shvuah to bring a korban, so on and so forth. Okay. He says, "Mihosha minon the shvuah lo boy shem." From here, we're able to draw that you don't need the Shem Hashem. Elakem shom a shvuah o shvusa. She kinuya, said shvuah, which is the kinui. Shelo ochal kikur zeh osel ochlo. He says shvuso shelo shvuso. He didn't say Shem Hashem. Why? The Mishnah is speaking where he omitted, did not say the Shem Hashem. Why? Because if he said the Shem Hashem, what are you telling me? Because it's the kinu, that's why it's a shvua. Just the name, pronouncing, mentioning the name Hashem, even if you would have mentioned even the word shvua, period, it already takes on the status of a shvua. Why? That feel below shvua, below kinu, have shvua. If you'd say, Hashem, I will not do that. That's a shvua. And he proves, Varayo, what's the proof to this? The Gemara says, Avodah Zorah, Lelekei Yisrael, Lo Maglina, to the God of Israel, I will not reveal this. So the Gemara says in Avodah Zorah, that's a shvua. It's a shvua. He didn't say the word shvua. So you see from there, just by saying the Shem Hashem, that's a shvua. Kadis also said, if that's the case, what are we talking about? Kinui shvui is it's a shvui because of the kinui. If he mentioned the Shem Hashem, forget about the kinui. So evidently, what is it clearly saying over here? That even if the Shem Hashem is omitted, just saying the word shvua or a kinui for shvua, that gives it the status of a shvua. Kamenan b'mechilton aminon mori kula lo teimno. Person uses the term mori kula, the master of all I will not eat. If it says that's a shvua, so you see clearly. What's Mori Kula? The master of all. That's saying like the Shem Hashem. Right. He didn't mention the word Shvua. Right. It's a Shvua. So he says, according to Rish Lakish, that Kinuyim is the Chazal, they made up that special word. Why? We'll see in a moment. Tiknu Kinuyim b'Shvua kechedo lo ma'Shvua l'Hashem. They were concerned that if you say Shvua l'Hashem, let's say he leaves out the word Shvua, right? Hashem, Mani. No, but if you tell me you need the Shem, it's not a shvua unless you mention Shem Hashem. So what's the value of a kinui? The kinui is that you should not mention the Shem Hashem. So you see clearly that the kinui without the Shem Hashem is a shvua. Okay, so he has a question. He says, but you could ask from the Gemara Shuas on what I'm saying. The Gemara says in Shvuas Eidus, name of the parak, third parak. The Shvuas Eidus, boy shame. K'di alfina and hosam ola misoto. Right? Let's say a person comes to another person and says, I want you to swear to me that you know testimony. I impose a shvu on you that you know testimony for my behalf. And the person says, Amen. So the person actually didn't express the shvu. The one who was demanding him should say testimony for him says, I impose a shvu on you to say testimony in this particular, and the man says Amen. So saying Amen is the equivalent of swearing. Where do we know it's the equivalent of swearing? Because we learn from Sota. The Sota, she claims her innocence. So the Kohen is mashbi her, and she says Amen, Amen. So the Amen, and over there it says by Sota, the Kohen has to have the Shem Hashem. So you see over there that Shvua has to have Shem Hashem. Tirtz Rabbeinu Tamzal, Dahani Mili Mushim Pi Acherim. It's not where a person makes the oath himself. But somebody else is imposing an oath on you. So when somebody else poses oath and you say, Amen, that's where it has to have a Shem Hashem. But the person himself swearing doesn't need it. Right? The sota is having a shvu imposed on her from the Kohen. But if you're swearing yourself, lo boy shem, which we brought the proof from our Mishnah. Utamani or love, that was Rabbeinu Tam's answer. Rabbeinu Tam is differentiating between swearing yourself or having the shvu imposed. So the Ran asks, Utamani olav pekodosh. He says, I'm taken aback at this holy mouth. How could he say such a thing? Make this differentiation. Whether you're swearing yourself or somebody else is imposing the oath. He said, well, somebody else imposed the oath. That's when you need the Shem Hashem. But when you swear yourself, you don't need the Shem Hashem. So he says, Yalfinu lo misoto. Yeah. The Aminim so perik shvuas shtayim basro. The Gemara says over there in shvuas, the motzi omein achashua kimotzi shvui pivdomi. When you answer omein, it's as if it's like swearing yourself. It's like swearing yourself. by a regular shvua, somebody else says, I want you to swear. And you don't say Amen. It's nothing. But he says Amen. It's like swearing yourself. Just as over there, the Amen only has value when you have the Shem Hashem. So when you swear yourself, you see, you have to have the Shem Hashem. I mean, the truth is, I don't hear the question. Saying Amen is Kamush Biyatzmo, that's only because, but factually you didn't say the Shua yourself. For Amen to be the equivalent of that, the Mashbi has to say the Shem Hashem. But if you're saying Shvu yourself, then you don't need it. So I'm not sure exactly why the Ran is so bothered with Rabbeinu Tam's answer. Rabbeinu Tam wanted to differentiate if somebody else is imposing the Shvu, or you're saying it yourself. So he says, but it says Amen. When you say Amen, it's like swearing yourself. Yeah, it's like swearing yourself when the one who was imposing the Shvu said Shem Hashem. But if yourself, you don't even have. You said Shvu yourself, you don't even Hashem. Umasik Abayi, Vodhik Shu Olav. There's another question. The Gemara says over there, it seems over there, even when somebody else imposes Shua, you don't need the Shem Hashem. Ditnan Hosam, Mashbini Aleichem, Osrachem Aleichem. Hare Eilu Chayav Masika Bayochem, Mashbi Aleichem B'Shua, Ambalosh Shua B'Lchut Sagi. So over there you see, from the Gemara over there in Shua, it's that even when you impose the Shua, you don't need the Shem Hashem. Abi Sharash Al Pirushom B'Milsa Dabai the Mairi Kishiske Hashem Ain't Zeb B'Mashros Loshen. Okay, El Ikrus. How do we answer that? Seems over there that even Push Biachirim, one doesn't need the Shem Hashem. He says El Ikrus boring. He says he's going to explain how to understand this. Right, we have a problem. He brought a raya. Rabbeinu Tam brought a proof from our Mishnah that when you take a shvuah, that you don't need the Shem Hashem. And it seems from the Moran Shvuas that by Mushpi Acherim, and you say Amen, you do need the Shem Hashem. So he says, Igor Shel Dvorim, Dahida min Shvuas Eidush Boy Shem, Rabchine Bar Idi. That's going according to one opinion. The Gomar, Ol Olam Yisota, Avu Rabbonon, but it's Machlok Tanoim. Avu Rabbonon, Lo Shem V'Lo Kino, you need neither. Kedmukha Masnit, like we brought proof from the Mishnah. V'chidnan hosam chol kinuin hareilu chayav and lav de boy shem o kinui. Eloloma de mashbia bekinui k'mashbia stam hanik v'lo k'mashbia b'shamayim v'oretz. Yeah, okay, that's the way he answers. It's a machlokes tanoim al mishnah that it says kinui. It's a shvua whether it's mashbia pi acherim not. You don't need the Shem Hashem. Elish haravid zal. The Ravid answers it this way. What we think about taking an oath when you swear, do you have to mention the name of Hashem to be an oath or not? So the Ran brought a proof from the Mishnah that even you just say the word Shvua, even without mentioning the name of Hashem, it has all the liabilities and the ramifications of an oath. The Ravid differentiates. He says, "Le'inyam Malkos eino loke elo baskos Hashem." To be subject to Malkos, you have to mention the name of Hashem. Why? The bekula lavi di Shvua Shem ksibu. Whenever the Torah says you should not take a false oath, it says what? Lo sisa Shem Hashem. You should not say the name of Hashem in vain. Lo sishbu b'shmi la shoke. You should not swear my name falsely. Avlini yisura. But whether it's a Torah violation, below Shem Nami Isa. Even if you don't use the Shem Hashem, you have the liability. Malchus not. There's a Tosfos, he explains it this way. See, the Ranas bring a proof from the Mishnah that an oath is an oath even if you don't mention the name Hashem. See, you don't need it. Now, we're going to discuss in a moment Yodayim. Yodayim means you say a partial expression, but it's clear what your intent is. Even though you didn't fully verbalize the expression, the Torah values as if you said the full statement. Okay? So the Tosfos learns that when you say Shua, I swear I will not eat that bread. I'll tell you, you need a Shem Hashem. But the moment you say Shua, the Shem Hashem is a yad. No, it's a yad. When you say a partial expression, it's as if you said it fully. So therefore, if you said something which connotes Shua, and Shua means Shem Hashem, it's as if you said Shem Hashem. I'll give you an example. If a Ruvain said Nazir, he's yad. Ruvain says, I will be a Nazir. And somebody says, and I. Shimon says, and I. Says, and I. He didn't say, and I will be a Nazir. He just said, and I. But since when he said, and I, it's clear what he meant. He meant, and I will be like Ruvain. Then he's a Nazir. But he didn't say, I am a Nazir. So that's called Yad. Because since from that partial, it's clear what he meant. He said, Hareini Nazir. So the same thing, when a person says, I swear I will not eat. Normally, an oath needs Shem Hashem. But you didn't say the Shem Hashem. The Yad makes it as if you did say the Shem Hashem. Okay? Same thing. An oath without God's name is not an oath. It's not an oath. But to be considered, why does it assume the status of a shvuah? The answer is the halacha Yad. A partial expression is if you fully express it. Okay, the Mishnah is unaziris kinaziris. If you use a jargon or an allusion to a corrupted word, you can say nazi. Kloma shome harenu nozik poziach. These are the words he used. Hare kloma harenu nozir. Okay. Now let's go further in the Mishnah. Omel chave mujrani mimcho. Somebody says to his fellow, I am off limits to you. Mufrashani mimcho. I am separated from you. Ruchkani mimcho. I am distant from you. Shani ochaloch, shani toamloch. Also. Meaning, what I will eat from you is off limits to me. Shani toamloch. What I will drink from you is off limits to me. Is also. Now, when he said shani ochaloch, shani toamloch, we'll discuss this. Let's see the Ran. Shani ochel homel mudrani mimchom first big more dani yodos. This is yodos. What do you say? Morshini nami dochi ktani mudrani mimcho shani ochaloch. O mudrani mimcho shani tomloch. Hem vushani muchani vav yodos. Mishum lo masik dimul meim ke korban. He didn't say the word korban. He says you should be off limits to me that I'm not permitted to eat from you. But saying not permitted, that's not enough. You have to say the word korban. It should be like a korban. He didn't say the word korban. Since his intent is clear, it's a yad. It's as if he said the word kekorban. Inami the loama yisura behedra. He didn't say you should be off limits to me, not off limits to eat to drink. But you didn't say forbidden. But yad makes it as if he did say it should be forbidden to me. So that gives it the status of a neder. What? Yad means a handle. He says like you take a handle. Although you're only holding the handle, but you have control over the whole pot, the whole vessel, identical. When you say a partial expression, it's as if you're saying a full expression. Of course, neder has to be verbalized. Now, how much do you have to verbalize? As long as you verbalize enough that we understand what you mean, although it's not fully expressed, that takes on the same status as if you fully expressed it. That's the concept of yad, a handle. Okay? Shani ochel, shani toim. This is very important. The way our Mishnah writes it, that I will eat, that I will drink. If the garsi yochi below yud, shani that I will, but if you insert a yud, she'eni. Vizgarsi she'eni be yud. Vizbar b'gmor siyatashov. He will explain this. Okay, now, a little further in the Mishnah. What about a person says munuda niloch? He uses the term nidu. Nidu is like a cherim. I'm off limits to you, but a person's a cherim. Reb Kiva yichochim zalachmi. Using that term, Reb Kiva considered to be machmir, it has value. We'll see the Gemara of that. Okay, let's see the Gemara now. Now, it's interesting. The Mishnah speaks about Tuesday Nedarim. Kinuye means using a word which is mispronounced, right? But it's become part of the language of the goyim. Okay, it's like the goy says hali, can't say chali, right? So what does hali mean? It means challah, right? It's not an English word, but it's become part of the language. That's they refer to it, right? Okay. So that's kinuyim. Kol kinuyi dorm kindorim. Maishno gabi nozir lo ktoni lo lukulu. Maishno gabi nedorm ktoni lukulu. Now it's interesting. In nozir, the Mishnah starts off the same way. It says kol kinuyi naziris kenaziris. That if a person says the word hareini nozir, it's understood. What about it says hareini noziach? Right? Noziach is a kinui. It's a jargon. It's not the word. Noziach is not nozir. But since when people say noziach, that mispronunciation, they mean nazir. It's understood to be Nazirite. Therefore, it's like you said it. But the Mishnah only discusses that. It says, Kol kinui nazirus kinazirus, and then it speaks to me about Yodayim. It speaks about saying in an abbreviated manner. And our Mishnah goes through the whole thing. He says, Nedarim, Charomim, Shvuis, Nazirus. In the Gemara, the Mishnah in the beginning of Nasso doesn't discuss Kinui Nedarim. It only discusses Kinui Nazirus. Why in our Mishnah do we have all these applications of Kinui, and over there in Nazir, it only discusses Kinui Nazirus? Why? So he says, Kol Kinui Nedarim Kinedarim, Maishno Gabi Nazir, Loktoni Lo Lokudu. It only speaks about the Kinui of Nazirus, and it begins and ends with that. Umaishno Gabi Nedarim Toni Lokudu. We have all the applications of Kinui, whether it's a Neder, whether it's a Cherem, whether it's a Shvua, right? Whether it's Nazirus. So he answers, when the Torah speaks about you're not permitted if a person takes a neder or takes an oath. So when the Torah discusses neder, which is a vow, it also discusses in the same pasuk a person takes a vow or an oath. So because both are discussed in the same pasuk, so when the Mishnah is now going to speak about neder, it's speaking about oath because they both mention the same pasuk. Okay? So therefore the Mishnah has to discuss neder and shvua. So we're discussing kinui neder and kinui shvua. If it came with the toni tartin, since we're speaking about not only neder, we're speaking two things, toni lekudu. So therefore we mention all the others. In Nazir we're only talking about Nazir. And Nazir, when the Torah speaks about Nazir, it speaks about Nazir by itself. Therefore, we speak about Nazir. There's no reason to speak about anything else but Nazir. Let's see.
Can they be interchanged if they're in the same pasuk?
No.
Okay, they're always separate.
No, there's a neder and there's a shvur. It's two separate things.
Right, even though they're in the same
Two different things. I'd say Howard and Jim. Are they the same people? The two people. Howard is Howard and Jim is Jim. Neder means, a vow means the object is forbidden. Shur means I swear I will not eat the object. It's on the person, it's not the object. The Gemara will explain this in a moment. Let's see the Mishnah. Radna. The Mishnah in Nazir starts Kinuye Naziris Kanaziris, and that ends. Then it speaks about Yad, right? Then it speaks about Yad immediately. Nedu Shua Ksiv Gabi Yadodi. What is saying in the Torah? Kido Neder Lashem O Hishova Shvua. Right? So in the same pasuk, the Torah mentions Neder and Shvua. So I did Torah in the door of the mitzvah. Oh, that's further. Okay. So here, because the Torah had to discuss, the Tana had to discuss Shvua, because Shvua is mentioned in the same pasuk with Neder. Once it mentions more than one, it mentions everything, all the applications of Kinui. In Nazir, it only mentions Nazir in the pasuk. Therefore, there's no reason to discuss anything but Nazir. Okay? So again, came Toni Tarti, Toni Kulu. Okay, now the Gemara asks, now if you look in the Mishnah, what's the order? If you're saying, why do we mention all the others? Because in the pasuk it speaks about Neder and it speaks about Shvua. So if that's the case, you know how the Mishnah should state it's the order. Kol kinoi nedarim kinarim, kol kinoi shvuas kishvuas. But it doesn't say that. If you look at the Mishnah, it says kol kinoi nedarim kinarim charami kecharamim. So it's interrupted with chayrim before we get to shvua, right? If you tell me the reason why I'm mentioning shvua, kinoi shvuas, is because it's mentioned in the same pasuk with nedarim, the Tana should have followed that order, the order of the pasuk. Should have said kol kinoi nedarim kinarim. Shvuas kishvuas and charamim kecharamim. So why does it interrupted with charamim before we get to shvuas? No. What does that have to do with it? So the Gemara, for listening kini shvuas basar nedarim. So Gemara says, now when you say something should be, this table should be cherem, what does that mean? Cherem means the object should be off limits to me, like a cherem. What is that? When I say this object should be like a korban, what is that? That's the object. So whether you use cherem or you say korban, it's the same thing. You're affecting it in the same manner. When you say shvua, the object's not being affected. I am off limits to it. There's nothing. The object itself is not affected, as the Gemara will explain now. So Gemara says, Aidi the Tona Nedarim, the mitzvah chefetz olei. When it mentions Nedarim, the object is forbidden to him. It's like when I consecrate something. Why is the object forbidden? Because it takes on a consecrated status. When you make a neder, you say it should be like a korban. The object takes on a forbidden status. Tona nami charomim. When you say cherim, also the mitzvah chefetz olei. La fuke shvua, to exclude shvua, taking an oath. The kosen nafshe min hachefetzer. I'm not permitted in the object. There's nothing, the object is not affected. Okay? Let's see Rashi. Aidi the Tona Nedarim, the mitzvah chefetz alei, klomar, she'oser hakikar olav. You're prohibiting the loaf of bread on him, let's say. V'omer achilas kikar ze olai. The object itself is not permitted to me. So why are you not permitted to eat it? Because the object is not permitted. La fuki shvua, to differentiate what is an oath. I will not eat. Right? You understand? A shvua could be something which is abstract. I will not eat. Right? So the object itself, the object has been affected. It's I will not eat. When you say the object is forbidden to me, that means the reason why I'm not permitted the object was there's something, the object has been affected. When I say I will not eat, that means I. I means I will not eat it. Okay, so now it comes out good. Now he's going to ask a question to Ron. The whole concept of shvua and the concept of neder are two different concepts. One is object, one is the person. So now, what about a person that expresses, he wants to say a neder, and he uses the term shvua? Or, as he's saying, that if you want to say an oath, you can't use an expression of neder. Listen to the story. Let's say a person says, this piece of bread is forbidden to me, and he says, bishvua. He says, the bread is off limits to me. He doesn't say korban, he says, with a shvua. It's contradictory. If the object's off limits, that's not a shvua, it's not the concept of shvua. Or he would say, I am not permitted to eat the object like a korban. So again, it's contradictory. You're not permitted means it's not the object. You're not permitted. When you say like korban, then you're saying the object has been affected. So he says if you use that, express it that way, it's nothing. Right? It's neither. It's neither. No, you're saying it should be like a korban. It should be like a korban. V'ikol meidach. So now he has a problem. So he says, seemingly, according to what the Gemara is saying, it should be nothing. But he says, but if we deduce what it says later, the Tanya v'pirkon, Ezeu yisur omer b'Torah. The Bryce says, what is an example of isur, of a neder? Harei olai shlo ochel bosor. I am taken upon myself, I will not eat this meat. He says, Harei olai. Wait a second. Alma yishned b'loshen shvua. Do shlo ochel, he says, I am taken upon myself, I will not eat this meat, korban. The Gemara says, that's neder. So what seems to be, Alma yishned b'loshen shvua, do shlo ochel kama. He says, I will not eat this piece of meat. It should be like a korban. But if you say, I will not eat, you're talking about the eating as an action. It's not the object. No. It's limited to me. That's a neder. It's limited to me. Uperak shvua shtayim b'ashenami mashma di shvua b'loshen neder. First take an oath, use the term oath, but yet it's a neder. Tamid and hosan bo'be achila mishtayim. Olai. He says, I will not eat these two items. Yeah, achila, these two items all are upon me. Shvua. The item is upon me with an oath. So the item is upon me means that's neder. With a shvua. By lishna the neder ukama le gabi shvua al mamani, so we see it's effective. Yesh lomar, so how do we reconcile it? Because he just finished saying, it seems from here, that if they're contradictory, it's nothing. And from these two sources we cited, it seems to be, it could be. Yesh lomar darid lishna lav dafka nokat. Lo. He says, when the Gemara is used to give these examples, they're not being really specific in the way he expressed it. That's all he means to say. It's not I will not eat. the object is upon me like korban. But if you would say, I will not eat it, I will not eat the meat like korban, it's meaningless. No. He says, I will not eat this meat like korban, it's nothing. What he said was, the piece of meat is forbidden to me like korban. That's what he said. He said, I swear I will not eat of these two pieces of meat. Okay. Harav ibn Migash. So the vast majority of Rishonim said if you use two expressions which are contradictory, it's nothing. It's nothing. Okay? He says, but yet we find a machlokes in Yerushalmi. Damir Hosen Rabbi Yudin v'Rebbe, Reb Muna, Sabri, ein neder b'loshen shvua, vein shvua b'loshen neder. That is, Rebbe and Reb Muna, they say it's nothing. Rabbi Yossi Polig Alai, Rabbi Yossi argues, Umashim the Kaimel Karabim. So 2 out of the 3, we have now 2 say it's nothing, 1 say it's something. So from there we see from the Yerushalmi that if you use 2 expressions which are contradictory, it's nothing. Avol Ramban Zal Kosav B'Hilchos Nedarim Shelo. The Ramban argues. He says something interesting. The Lekle Shibushi Hanach Sugyo. He says to say when the Gemaras we cited, it's not specific. The Gemara is specific in its words. You have this. So how does it work? We just differentiate. Neder is the object. Shvu is yourself. So if you use contradictory expressions, so what is it? How could it be? It's neither. It's not A, it's not B. So Ramban has an interesting approach. No, that's not normally the way you express it. The Gemara says clearly, neder is you expressed, it's the object. Shvua is the person. El midin yodusu demani. Hear this. It's terrific. Person says, the object is forbidden to me with an oath. So because he colluded an oath, that means what does he want to say? He wants to take on a connotation. But you didn't verbalize like an oath. You know what the answer is? That's yad. Even though you didn't say it, yad, it's as if you said it. You didn't say it. The words, the way you expressed the Isser was like a neder. So it's not, as neder, it's nothing. But since I concluded I want it to be a shvuah, so it works because that's yad. That's the Ramban. Okay? No, it works as a shvuah. Even though verbally he didn't say it. But what is the concept of yad? The Torah says that as long as you expressed your intent, although you didn't say the words, the Torah says we see it as if you did say the words correctly. Right? The Neder Sham B'Loshen Shvua came in the people the Bushavin, less of Shvua. Since clearly we see your intent, you conclude I want to be a Shvua, and we see your intent is you want to be a Shvua. Al Atzmo, Api Shlo Omer B'Loshen Midukta Yad Mihave. But minimally, it's a Yad. Yad means it's a partial, sufficiently a partial expression, because you revealed your intent. So even though verbally you didn't say it, we see it as if you did express it. 1 second. Chaim B'Shvua, Shom Shvua Kiko Ze Olai Kevin the people the Bushavin. Since you conclude it should be a neder, and your intent is the lesser, achilos b'kikor zeh b'shvua, manitin yad el sugin doche b'ikor lo sheneder v'lo shvua achrina. Okay. Now the Gemara has a new question. It's a question. The Mishnah starts with kinuyin, that you use a jargon, you use a reference, a corrupted way to say the word. So, if you're going to give me examples, the Mishnah should give examples of what? Of kinuyin. The Mishnah gives examples of Yodayim. Yeah, I mean, if we start with something, what do you give example of? You give example of what we began speaking about. So you don't give. The Gemara is going to ask 2 questions. How could you give me examples of Yad? The Mishnah didn't even speak about Yodayim. Mishnah says, if you say a word and you don't pronounce it correctly, it's okay. You say firstly, so give me an example of that, right? Secondly, what example does it give of Yad? We haven't even discussed the concept of Yodayim. Before you give me an example of what it is, tell me that if you say a partial expression, it's like a whole expression. An example of that would be this. But he never said it. So we have 2 problems in the Mishnah. Right? So that's the Gemara asks. Posach b'kinuyin, kol kinuyin nedarim. We begin all kinuye nedarim are like nedarim. Umeforish yodos. Then it goes to give examples of yodayim. Oben chaveru mudani mimcho. That's for Su Yodas Inchi. We forgot about Yodos. What the Tana forgot to discuss, that there's such a thing as Yodos. Sumar says no. I rebel. No. The Mishnah is discussing Yodos. But we find that Chasuri Mechshra, something has been deleted from the Mishnah. Which we find. Sometimes the Tana, when he says something, it's intentionally deleted. Why? This is the way you have to read the Mishnah. Kol kinuim dorim kinedorim, v'yodos nedorim kinedorim. Yes. So immediately it does say, even when we read the Mishnah, it does. We don't read Yodaim Nedarim. It has to be read V'yodos Nedarim Kinedarim. Okay. So we answered the first question. We answered the second question. Second question is answered. How do you give me examples of Yodaim? We haven't discussed Yodaim. The answer is Kasuri Mesher. It's been deleted. So the Mishnah should be read Kunei Nedarim Kinedarim. Even if you don't pronounce the word correctly, it's fine. And also an abbreviation of Nedarim is also like Nedarim. That's Yodaim. But the second question, the other question is the question. If we start with kinuyim, what should you explain first? Don't talk about what you ended with. You explain, give examples of what we began. Some more answers. Use the way of the Tana when he presents the Mishnah. The last thing he discusses, that's what he explains first. Then he goes back to discuss the first thing. We discuss kol kinuyim nedarim kinedarim. Yodos Nedarim Kinedarim. Then we immediately give an example of what Yodayim are, because that's the last thing discussed, right? Where do we find such an example? Kiditnan, we read B'meh Madlikim every Friday night if you daven Ashkenaz. B'meh Madlikim, B'ein Madlikim. What types of oils could you use and what kinds of oils not? Then it says Ein Madlikim. So even though it began with B'meh Madlikim, but what we ended off with, that's what we give examples of. B'meh Tomnin. You can insulate food with this kind of material, and this not. And what materials are you not permitted to insulate? What is a woman permitted to wear when she goes into a courtyard, into Rishus Harabim? What is she not permitted to wear? Which is considered an ornament or what? Then it says Lo Seitzi Isha. So we begin what she's permitted, but that's what she's not. But what does the Tana explain first? What we left off with. What she concluded with. Somewhere asks, you mean to say, you tell me the Tana always discusses, gives you an example of what he concludes with before he discussed what he began with? But now we have other Mishnayos, which he does differently. There's a person who actually inherits. For instance, a son inherits a father. But if a child dies, the father inherits the son. It goes both ways. What, right? No, that was Leital Mishnah. That with Tana he presents two things, and which one does he explain first? What he concluded with. No, all these examples always the last one. What is a woman permitted to wear? What is she not permitted to wear? So we began. What is she permitted to go wear into Rishus Harabim? What is she not permitted? Then it says, with the sentence, he discusses always the last thing. What are you permitted to light with? What are you not permitted to light? And what are you not permitted to light with? So it's always the second statement. He explains before he gets back to the first statement. No, that's a style. It's a style of writing. It's a style of writing. No. It's just a style of writing. It's a style of writing. Someone says, you mean this is always the style? We learned in Mishnah in Bava Basra. It says, Yesh nochel machlin. Those who inherit it and those who mantchilin. Yesh nochel, when they die, they're able, nochel means they pass on to their fathers who mantchilin. Nochel v'no mantchilin. A son inherits a mother. A mother does not inherit a son. Correct? Veilu nochel matchilin. Then it goes to explain what we began with. Yesh mutaris lebalein v'asuras liyivmein. That those women are permitted to their husbands, they're not permitted to their yavam. If the person died childless, mutaris liyivmein, they're permitted to the yavam. V'asuras lebalein. What's an example? Let's say you have a kohen gadol. Let's say you have an ordinary kohen married to an almana, and he dies childless, and his brother's a kohen gadol. So although the woman was permitted to her husband, she's not permitted to the yavam. And there's a woman, they're not permitted to the husband, where the husband's the kohen gadol, and now he dies, and his brother's an ordinary kohen. So she's permitted to the yavam. And what does it say? It says yesh mutars lebalein v'asus livmein, mutars livmein v'asus livmein, ve'elu mutars livmein. And these are the women that are permitted lebalein v'asus livmein. So we're going back to the first, to the opening statement. Yesh tuna shema levon, and the certain menochos which need oil and levon is certain spice. Shema lo levon, ve'elu tuna shema. So we're going back to the opening statement. Yesh tunas hagosh, and the certain korbanos which you have to touch the corner of the mizbeach. Vein tunas tenufa, which don't have to be waved. Tenufa la hagosha, they have to be waved but not touched. Ve'elu tunas hagosha, going back to the first. Yesh bechor lenachla, vein bechor lekohen. There's a bechor, which means you receive a double portion in inheritance. But you don't pay 5 shkolim to the Kohen. Bechor leKohen, vein bechor lenachlo, veizol bechor lenachlo, vein bechor leKohen. So we see clearly. So it's not like you said it. The Tana doesn't always mention the closing statement. He goes back to discuss the first statement. So on that tomorrow answers. You know why? We'll leave the round for tomorrow. Mishum da'avshalu meforesh ahud deposim reish. If let's say the Mishnah is a very lengthy Mishnah, so if it's so lengthy, if I don't go back to the first, you forget. You get confused. Let's say it discusses many things in the Mishnah. I have to go back to the first because it's too confusing. But if it's very short, we don't discuss many things, then I go back, then I continue from the closing statement. Okay? To be continued.